If you ever sat down with a piece of sheet music and felt your hands just freeze, you're not alone. But sight reading doesn't have to be scary. With a few mindset tweaks and some practical strategies, you can turn it into a tool that helps you connect with your music faster and with more confidence. Here's what we're going to cover. The mental shift that helped me become a better piano player. How to simplify music without losing the soul of the piece. How to recognize chords just by looking at the notes in a measure. Rhythm first hacks to keep the music flowing, even when you make mistakes. Before we dive in, let me introduce myself. I'm Arabella, a musician, educator, and studio owner. Over the last half a decade, I've built a business teaching voice. Though I've played piano since I was young, sight reading was never my strong suit. I've played piano since I was a kid, but sight reading only clicked when teaching voice forced me to accompany students. The problem that most people have with sight reading is that they think they have to be able to read every note. That's the first mental shift. The first mental shift is this. Sheet music is not music. It's a guide. The music happens when you bring it to life. Don't feel like you have to nail every single note the first time. Instead, treat it like skimming a book. You're aiming to understand the overall meaning, not to memorize every word. You only have 2 jobs as a sight reader, and we can simplify them into 2 questions. What's the harmonic progression, and what's the rhythmic motion of the piece? One of the easier ways to approach this is to start by identifying the chord progressions on the page. Tip number 1, recognize chords. One of the biggest breakthroughs in my own sight reading came from training my eyes to see chords, not just individual notes. When you look at the page, don't just read every note separately. Look at all the notes together and ask yourself, what chord is this spelling out? Is it root position or an inversion? If you can instantly recognize that a cluster of notes is just an E-flat major chord, you can grab the whole shape without processing each note. Instead of stumbling through every note, playing a block chord will get your right hand sounding super polished. It is where you are. Quick fixes for complicated chords. Complicated chords can feel like roadblocks, especially slash chords and extended harmonies. In this song, 2 common beginner challenges I see are slash chords and 7th chords. Remember, simplifying can actually help you sound more polished and a more advanced player. With slash chords, you can either play the bass note in one hand and the chord in the other, or stick to the root position chord. For 7th chords, it's perfectly fine to drop the 7th if it makes things easier. So here's the 7th chord. G, B flat, C, E flat. I'm going to drop the 7th and just play a C minor. As long as you capture the essentials, the rhythm, the harmony, and the feel, the audience will hear music, not mistakes. Always choose rhythm. Other musicians can follow your timing, but they can't follow you if you stop to correct a note. Once you've got the rhythm, fill it with simplified chords and bass notes. The result is more musical and easier to follow. So for example, on the first measure, I would just play, instead of all those notes, I might just play the chords in inversions. This is especially useful for fills. Here's something that might surprise you. Sometimes I don't even play the exact notes written on the page, and that's intentional. If the music gets dense, my priority is to keep the pulse and convey the harmony, not to recreate every printed detail. So this is really useful if you look at the B flat over D in measure 3, where it's an E flat, and then those 8th notes, I might just play a B flat and keep the rhythm in a simple inversion. That's a 1 and 2 and. So together it might sound like this. The revolving door trick. Imagine the song is a revolving door. If you miss your spot, don't chase it. Wait for the next easy entry point and jump back in on time. That might mean skipping a tricky measure entirely and coming back in on big downbeats or familiar chords. The goal is to be able to get up, walk around, and still know exactly where you are in the piece. So for instance, maybe I skip all of those quarter note rhythms in measure 4. One of the best practice hacks is to spend time on simple pieces. Simple music frees up brain space so you can focus on relaxing your hands and body, listening closely to your sound, working on phrasing and expression. Even experienced pianists spend time on the fundamentals, not to dumb it down, but to improve control and musical awareness. So the next time your hands freeze, remember it's not about playing every note perfectly. It's about keeping the conversation with the music going. If you're curious about more ways to optimize your piano playing, check out our video with Amen, optimizing your practice time on piano, balancing talk, play, and goals. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more tips and tricks on piano for the vocalist.